I have an example here of some government overreach. Is America becoming a non-free country? Starts off about a community effort to live off the grid in the Garden of Eden community in Texas, and they had a problem there. They got invaded by the local SWAT team because they were living off the grid, and they weren't up to code on their gardening and stuff. And another one here where some lady in Florida ran into the same problem. She was living off the grid, and they shut her down. And they're blaming government here for all these your efforts to keep you hooked up to utilities and service providers and whatnot. But it's not their fault. The fault is you. You sit around there and let these, first off, you move into these communities, a gated community, a restricted area, you buy property because you think that's what you want. Then you get in there and you don't live according to the regulations you've agreed to. You also feel like you're protected till it comes to taking things away from you. You traded your freedom, your property rights, for a little bit of protection that don't stand by you when you need it. Blame yourself for not being there when these codes were passed. Don't buy into a regulated community. Don't buy into restricted property. And don't stand for this when the government tries to impose it on you. Now, if you bought the property and it came along and it was not your fault that they ran it by you and your brethren out there, your neighbors, allowed it to pass, and they carry more blame than you. But you should have been out there fighting. You should have been speaking up instead of belly aching after it happens. It's just your fault for putting up with it. And if you want to continue to support a community that would restrict your property rights, then blame yourself. And that's all I've got to say about it, in case anybody cares.